All right, hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Rob here at Smirking Gun Reviews. We're back with more Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 2. We're up to episode 12. It is called Who You Really Are. So full spoilers are ahead if you have not seen this episode. This is definitely a filler episode, but it's like they take the idea of the filler episode and they try to do interesting stuff with it still. And in this, they use the idea that, okay, we need somebody to explain Terrigenesis to the audience, to the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and all that stuff. So that means they have to explain eventually Quake getting, Daisy getting, Sky. Jesus Christ, see, I just used all three of her names in a sentence. So in order to get to the bottom of, the answer, get to the place that is the answer, that what is up with Sky, okay, we need to explain Terrigenesis. And so they use the idea that okay, we know that the Kree were involved in it, so we need a Kree in here. Okay, so how do we explain the Kree? Then we use Lady Sif. So it's like it gets all the way back to that. So like Lady Sif wandering out of the water with no memory. It's a good way to start the episode because, okay, how's this going to connect to everything? And does this have anything to do with Asgard and all that stuff? But what happens here is mostly just a way to get to everybody finding out about Sky's inhuman situation. Hunter's, like this whole episode has a ton of the Hunter, Bobby, Mac situation of what are they up to? What are they up to? It's just more of the same stuff where you just, you get ready to pull your hair out, with this kind of storyline. Waiting for the payoff when they give you nothing. You just know that there's separating people and who we're going to have to fight, who we're not going to have to fight, all that stuff. And by the end of the episode, Hunter confronting Mac and realizing, that they're really into some real like shit. Like we're talking mutiny, like you can already tell that all this is going on. And so it does, like if this is your first time watching it through, it is kind of like, holy crap. But when you realize what's really going on, it's kind of like, I don't know, anticlimactic. Like you're expecting them to be like the new Hydra or something. But, oh yeah, so when they go to get Sif and Coulson's like showing her, yes, we know each other. And he's just like pulling up IMDb screenshots of the episode. Like, there's straight shots from like this. Like he's just pulling up photos from like Netflix. Like none of it looks like you didn't take any selfies with her. You could have like just shown her a selfie or something like that instead of like it's so proper. I don't know. It's kind of funny. They do that in television all the time though. You find out that the guy that she was after was a Kree guy, because we know that the Kree, they started this whole Inhumans thing to fight their war. But we think that he's the bad guy here. And then it's kind of realized that like this is all just like Lady Sif coming is all just kind of shenanigans because Odin said that somebody said a Kree came to our place and sent Sif to stop it, to check it out. And then it just becomes like somebody doesn't know the right information and then they start a fight. We get to see that with the new elevated risks that are going on, with everybody not being able to trust anything that's going on, with this new Terrigenesis thing coming up, and people with power showing up, and with everybody that died in the tunnels of the city, everybody's just like really ramped up. And so they get new icers they're going to make. That makes Fitz even more worried. It's kind of like we are getting to this kind of the mutant story that Marvel wasn't able to tell at the time because X-Men were with Fox. So the Inhumans were the only property that they could have. And a lot of people, Inhumans are almost like mutants, except they've been like, it's in the genetic code. Like the Terrigenesis brings it out. So like if they never go through the Terrigen mist, they just go on their lives. I think that's how it goes. So it's kind of, but like mutants, they will like, as soon as they hit puberty, usually they just turn. And so people being afraid of Inhumans is this world's, like, we're starting to see the intolerance of other people already springing up. The fear that creates intolerance, the fear that creates the situation that would have been told if this was being able to be used, the X-Men instead of the Inhumans. Yeah, so like, and Fitz being worried about Gemma's feelings about Inhumans and Mac and everybody else, like, yeah, it's normal that you'd have a group separated. And if everybody was just on one side, there's no conflict. But then, yeah, I just wrote, yeah, Thor's hot because, yeah, they're all, Sif and May are talking about, why do I smile when I think of Thor? It's like, duh. Skye quaking out, she quakes out a few times in this. I mean, it's kind of obvious, like, she's in the room, everybody else is like going like this, and Skye's always just standing there like, oh, oh. When they find the Kree guy at the chest where the diviners are supposed to be, and he's like, you will not stop me. And you just hear Hunter just be like, want a bet? And they hit him with the net. That was pretty funny. But then, like, getting the Kree in here, it's where we get our big exposition dump that they were building towards the entire episode. So everything that has happened is just so that we can get to this exposition dump. Where then he tells us that the Kree experimented on the people here at Earth. We were like a success. Everywhere else, nothing worked, but we were such a success. Almost like our DNA wanted to change. They had to shut us down because we were becoming too powerful while they were away. And so, yeah, they didn't want somebody else to come and they'd have to fight. So they shut us all down. And so when they get word that somebody has just become an Inhuman, they come flying down here to, like, make sure that it's not going to start again. Like, they think of us as a plague because, again, these people are so technologically and probably just every way advanced than us that they think of us as ants and, like, something that has to be checked on and snuffed out if we get too big for our britches. Which is kind of crazy because they started this whole thing. It's like, why not just blow the fucking planet up? but then we get, Skye quakes out again. Now everybody knows that it's coming from her. I like this shot, the showing that their little shield does have, like, its limits, and apparently Asgardian metal is more strong than our stuff. Skye ices herself. And then they talk about, the saying that's been told whenever they talk about Skye, and that's, wherever Skye goes, death follows. And that's been pretty true so far. But they're talking about fate and things like that. And now that's starting to come up a little bit more. And that makes the story change, makes it bigger, makes it more broad. And, I don't know. But then that's where, everything leads up to everybody kind of talking, having their, like, comments. Everything's, you think, is all resolved, but then people start choosing sides, and Mac and Fitz and all of them start arguing over, like, the alienness of Skye and what they should do about her, and should they lock her up, should they protect her, and everything's going on. And then finally they all turn around, and of course that's when Skye shows up. And the whole thing just becomes like, this is what I thought of. Spaghetti-o! as soon as I saw Skye standing there, that's the first thing I thought of. They all look around, and she just bounces and slams the door and everything. And then we get the whole thing where Hunter confronts Mac. And, then Mac chokes him out because Mac doesn't want Hunter to be a part of it. And we're going to see pretty quick here what's all going on, thankfully. I'm kind of tired of this build-up towards the Mac and Bobby betrayal, which it is and isn't. It's crazy. But we do get I am looking forward to seeing Edward James Olmos from Battlestar Galactica on the show. So anyway, if you like this review of this kind of so-so fillery episode with some alright moments, please hit the like button, comment, share, subscribe, hit the bell for all notifications. Otherwise, this is Robert Smirking and Review saying we'll be back with more Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. later. We got live stream at 6, and Captain Marvel review as well. So this is Robin Smirking Review saying have a great day, and we'll see you next time.